Welcome to ABC Interactive English. That guy over there is Matt.
And she's Winnie.
Right, and so we are returning with the episode, the 2024 Paris Olympics Part 2. So, Matt, what is your favorite Olympic event?
My favorite Olympic event, I think, has only been in one Olympics before. So it was first in the 2020, which was postponed to 2021 Olympics, which was rugby.
Right, because you love playing rugby.
I do like playing and watching rugby. It was my favorite sport growing up, and it's great to now see it in the Olympics, and I'm looking forward to watching it in the Paris Olympics.
Ah, okay. And this might be an obvious question. Since you are Canadian, do you root for the Canadian team?
Well, I start rooting for the Canadian team, but they're not very good at rugby right now.
Got it.
So I'll start with that, and then they'll get knocked out, and then I'll root for a different team.
I love it. You start out rooting for
Yes.
them. Okay.
How about you? What's your favorite Olympic sport?
I mean, choosing your favorite Olympic sport or event is kind of like choosing your favorite child. To me, I really love gymnastics, but I do always gravitate towards turning the channel to track and field events. And that's kind of where the original Olympics came from. And specifically, I like pole vaulting. So pole vaulting is where they run at fast speeds with this ginormous pole in their hand, and they use the pole to kind of throw themselves over another pole, and to whoever gets the highest, breaks the record. Yeah, and I think it's very scary, but also amazing to watch.
Okay, wow. There's two sports we can look forward to in the Paris Olympics, but let's learn more about what's going to happen at these 2024 Olympics after this.
The biggest change will be with the opening ceremony. It won't be inside a stadium. People will get to experience it on the banks of the Seine River.
Welcome back. We are looking at part 2 of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Boy, am I excited. And one of my favorite parts of watching the Olympics is watching the opening ceremony.
Really?
Yeah, my personal favorite is the 2008 Beijing Olympics opening ceremony, where they had thousands of drummers, but they were all beating so accurately at the same beat. It was amazing.
Wow, that's really cool. I remember I used to watch the opening ceremonies, but now I find them usually pretty boring. But I do remember that Beijing one as being one of the most impressive that I have seen.
Most people don't usually remember opening ceremonies, but the Beijing one was not one to forget. So, continuing on with the article. The biggest change will be with the opening ceremony. It won't be inside a stadium.
Okay, so that's unusual because, every opening ceremony that I have seen in the past has been inside some sort of arena or stadium.
Right, because during the opening ceremony, they have the famous passing of the torch.
Yes, that's right.
Right, yeah, and so typically you wouldn't think to hold that outside just in case it rains or the wind is too big.
Maybe. So an opening ceremony is the event held to open or to start an event, basically. So a ceremony is a formal public gathering and a big event to celebrate something. So in this case, they'll be celebrating the start of an event such as the Olympic Games.
Right, exactly.
So every year, the host city, in this case Paris, has to have a big ceremony. Usually people can buy tickets to go watch it, and there'll be music, there'll be dancing, there'll be lights, and there'll also be all of the athletes that compete in the Olympics will walk around and you can watch the teams enter, and you can, of course, cheer when your favorite team or favorite country enters.
That might be my favorite part of every opening ceremony. It's great to see what the countries or the hosting cities, what they plan, but seeing all of the athletes walk together, and you can kind of tell the different athletes from their sports, what they do, because their body shape is so obvious. Like a weightlifter is huge.
You also have to look at the outfits that each team is wearing and choose. You can choose your favorite. Be like, that country has the best outfits.
Yeah, a lot of brands are really excited to design the country's uniforms. So in this case, it's not for Paris 2024, it won't be held in a stadium. It will be held outside. So typically, the stadium that we refer to, it's basically a sports arena, or sometimes, it's used for entertainment as well, like a concert or a show. So it's basically this really, really big venue with a lot of seats. We're talking thousands of seats.
Something like the Taipei Dome.
Exactly, or the Taipei Arena. And most arenas are actually kind of half outdoors, half indoors, because they do have a shelter, but in the middle there might be, a little hole, or not a little, a big hole where you can see the sky. Okay, so usually it will, you can do anything with that stadium, right? So people will get to experience it on the banks of the Seine River.
Okay, so it's not going to be a stadium, it's going to be on the banks of the Seine River. So the banks of a river are these sloping parts that slope down towards the river on either side of the river. So a river will have two banks because it has two sides. So people can enjoy this opening ceremony on the sides of the river.
I'm kind of imagining if it's going to take place on the banks of the Seine River, I'm kind of imagining like a float situation, like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade thing, but instead of floats, they'll be floating on the Seine River. Get it? Floating.
Okay. Very good.
I don't know, maybe, but I'm also thinking Hunger Games.
Wow, okay, well, that's a bit different. All right, so we're going to learn more about, what these opening ceremonies are and the other special things that will happen during the 2024 Olympics after this.
Each national team will be on board a boat. The boats will cross through the center of Paris. People can see it at no charge in the upper sections of the river. There will also be giant screens and speakers for those who can't get close. What's more, the world can watch the live broadcast on TV.
Welcome back from the break. As we learned before the break, this year's Paris 2024 Olympics opening ceremony will not be held in a stadium as we usually are used to. It will actually be held on the Seine River, and spectators or guests can watch the opening ceremony on the banks of the Seine River.
That's right. So let's find out more about this opening ceremony. Each national team will be on board a boat. The boats will cross through the center of Paris.
Ooh, very interesting. Okay, so it's kind of like a parade. So people can see it at no charge in the upper sections of the river. Okay, so just like you were saying before, usually when people want to watch the opening ceremony, there might be a ticket fee or a charge. But in this case, this year, it will be no charge. So what does it mean to charge something or to have a charge? So a charge is a noun, and it means the amount of money or the price of a ticket or an object. Okay, so of no charge, that means dun da da da, it's free to watch.
So that means, yeah, no charge or free of charge means that you do not have to spend money for that thing.
Nice.
And it will be free of charge on the upper sections of the river. So upper meaning the part that is above or is at a higher place. It's you can have upper and then lower.
Yeah.
Upper and lower sections. So in this case, we're talking about a river. The upper section will be the part that's at a higher place from which the river will flow downhill to the lower place. So if you're at an upper section of the river, you're at the part that is further back opposite the direction of the flow of the river.
Right.
So things will move from the upper section to the lower section.
Right, because if it was lower, I feel like there would be a lot of, might be a little bit dangerous. Maybe someone might fall in.
Okay. All right, continuing on. There will also be giant screens and speakers for those who can't get close.
Oh, so it's kind of like when you go to a concert and you're not in the front row. If for those people who go and they maybe can't afford a front row seat, they are in the back, but not to worry because you can see the screen and listen to the speakers, which brings me to our vocab word, speaker, which is a noun. And obviously we know the verb to speak. So a speaker is a person who talks, or in this case, we're talking about a machine, a device that makes sound louder, okay? Makes a lot of sounds louder. So something that plays music or sounds out loud. And I say some sounds just like someone using a microphone can also be heard on a speaker.
So someone is playing a, electric guitar, for example, or someone just wants to have their music played loudly, you need to hook it up to a speaker, which will use electricity to make that sound much louder.
Right. I'm sure everyone has experience with it because all of our phones have speakers. So moving on. What's more, the world can watch the live broadcast on TV, which I'm sure that is how everyone typically watches the Olympics.
All right, so a broadcast is when a program is sent out on radio or TV. That is a broadcast. In this case, it is a live broadcast, which means that you can watch it live in the real time that it is happening. So when something's happening in Paris, you can be sitting here in Taiwan watching that person win the gold medal or watching those boats come down the river for the opening ceremony.
Of course, depending on the time, you might have to stay up late.
Oh, yes.
Or wake up extra early.
Remember the time differences for that.
Yeah.
So that sounds like some exciting stuff to come. So we know about this opening ceremony now, and that's something that they're going to do different than the Olympics of the past.
Right, and I'm sure that is very exciting, but for the next episode, we're going to get into the meat of the Olympics, the part that I'm very, very excited for. All will happen in the next episode, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
The biggest change will be with the opening ceremony. It won't be inside a stadium. People will get to experience it on the banks of the Seine River. Each national team will be on board a boat. The boats will cross through the center of Paris. People can see it at no charge in the upper sections of the river. There will also be giant screens and speakers for those who can't get close. What's more, the world can watch the live broadcast on TV.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 bank 名词堤岸。They sat on the river bank. 他们坐在河岸边。下一个单字 upper 形容词上层的较高的。The books are on the upper shelf. 那些书在上层的架子上。下一个单字 speaker 名词扬声器喇叭。The speaker on Bonnie's laptop stopped working. Bonnie 笔电上的喇叭坏了。Laptop 指的是笔电。最后一个单字 broadcast 名词，转播、广播。My dad often listens to radio broadcasts in the morning. 我爸爸经常在早上时听电台广播。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 on board 登上，后面常接交通工具，例如 train、plane 等。我们来看看这个例句。We waited for everyone to get on board before the train departed. 火车出发前，我们等待所有人都登上车厢。Depart 指的是出发。下一个文法 at no charge 免费，这是一个固定用法。Charge 在这里指的是费用、收费。我们来看看这个例句。You can download the software at no charge. 你可以免费下载这个软体。Download 指的是下载 ，software 指的是软体。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
This park is so beautiful. I've got to take a selfie.
It really is such a nice park.
3, 2, 1. Did you just photobomb me?
Photobomb? Is something going to explode?
No, Winnie. It means you just got in my photo.
Sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the term photobomb.
Yes, photobombing is when someone unexpectedly enters the camera's field of view while a picture is being taken, usually making a silly face or gesture.
It's a humorous way to prank your friends when they're taking photos.
Like what I did to Shane earlier.
Yes, exactly, but not humorous at all. Now, let's look at some examples of how to use photobomb.
Sure. So for example, you could say, I was trying to take a nice photo of the sunset, but my brother photobombed it.
I'm not your brother. Or, my cat loves to photobomb my pictures. She always jumps in at the last second.
I can relate to that. So next time you're taking a photo, watch out for photobomber.
That's all that we have time for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.